Thank you.
Very good afternoon to everyone. It's an honor to have D.P.Agarwal sir, the ex-chairman of UPSC, who have served UPSC for 11 long years, 5 years as a member and 6 years later on as the chairman of UPSC. So he's a wide experience of dealing with the UPSC and how to best prepare for the UPSC interview. I will not be taking much of your time, but I can only say one thing, that it is very important to sharpen your skills. There are certain things which could be learned, certain things which cannot be learned. Interview is just one certain things which you get as you get more and more of an exposure. ठीक है, your personality becomes even better. ऐसा नहीं कि एक ही दिन में कुछ जादू तो आपके ऊपर हो जाएगा और आपके बहुत जबरदस्त मार्क्स आ जाएंगे. It is not the case. It is a personality which is built in a time. So जब भी आप यूपीएससी के साथ में तैयारी कर रहे हैं, you should be evolving as a good human being, and that is the most important thing. Your values, your way of thinking will keep on changing with the passage of time as maturity comes. But the most important thing is you need a certain person who can guide you. Guide you in a better way. कि आपका जो हथियार है, जो नॉलेज का हथियार है आपके पास, उसको कब अपने और कहाँ यूज करना है, किस तरीके में यूज करना है, that is the most important thing that you should be knowing. The things that are there, the education system that we presently have, ठीक है, हम पढ़ते हैं और लिखना जानते हैं, but the problem comes to speaking, कि बोलना नहीं और सही लफ्जों का चयन नहीं किया जाता हमसे. It is in this case, for example, various teachers are there who continuously have guided you in the school also, in the college also, and we are also guiding you over here also. और यहाँ पे the most important thing is that D.P. Agarwal sir himself has come to guide you people so that what could be the best way to prepare for UPSC और आप अच्छे तरीके से कैसे तैयारी कर सकते हैं. And the most important thing is every word that he would be guiding you, he would be telling you is the most important thing. And even when we were sitting outside, so we were discussing various things. Sir ने मेरे को ही बोला कि आप भी ये कर सकते हो. So I'm saying that his way of thinking is so good that not only he has a diversified way of thinking in the context of UPSC also, but in my own business that we are doing or the work that we are doing, he was also guiding कि आप ऐसा करोगे तो और comparatively काफी अच्छा हो सकता है. So sir, please come and on the dais and give a warm welcome to sir. Thank you.
It is already quite warm here. Thank you, friends. Good afternoon to all of you. Can you hear me? Good. It's always a pleasure for me to meet young people. So not only you are very young, you are also a very bright person. So it's a challenge. How to handle a group of people who are so bright that they might put you on a mat. How many of you have already qualified mains are ready for interview? Can you raise hands? Some. There are others who are preparing now. Is that right? Okay. As you all know, this exam is a 3-tier exam. It's difficult because the number of vacancy compared to number of people attempting is very, very small. These vacancies have been varying, changing over time. The maximum it has reached once was 1200. This year was about 800, isn't it? Maybe some more could be added.
1000 after.
Yep. And railway vacancies been added to it. Number of people who qualify the mains are roughly about 2,500. So the challenge is that if you are 2,300, 2,500, now these are not the numbers which comes out of it. If you remember reading the Gazette notification, have you ever read the Gazette notification? So the challenge is that any of you read the Gazette notification for UPSC exam? I suppose each should read that. It lays down what is required, and it says that number of vacancy multiplied by 15 times are people taken in the mains, and number of vacancy multiplied by 2.5 are taken for interview. So it is not the number which is fixed, it is related to number of vacancies and automatically. So UPSC does not decide anything in a priori. There is always a confusion in people's mind that we fix what is called a cutoff. We do not fix a cutoff. As soon as the vacancies are filled, that becomes a cutoff. If we have general vacancies, we have reserved vacancies, and we also got economically weaker students. So as their quotas keep completing, the cutoffs come automatically. So it is neither the pre-decided nor it is fixed forever. It changes every year. Therefore, depending on how students perform, these numbers would change. The only advantage of this exam is that it occurs every year. It occurs on a calendar, it doesn't change. It's a very positive thing that you can prepare, you can keep your calendar, you can keep your time frame. Now for those who are appearing this time in interviews, in the notification it says personality test. And I'll tell you what is the difference between the two. Do you understand the difference? All of you are graduates? Yes. How many of you are engineers? Science people? Yeah, so bulkily engineering and science people. And all of you have done practical exams. And you know what is a YOC? Have you heard this called YOC? Yes. In YOC, you conduct an experiment. And related to that experiment, questions are asked. First about that experiment and then about the subject area. So you know the territory, you know what you have done, and the questions are asked. Normally speaking, in YOC, the question should be asked based on the practicals. But most of the teachers try to ask you theory questions also. Now this is meant for education. When an educated person wants to get a job, he has to appear a discussion or an interview with a group of people who want to select you for a company or any organization. It asks you questions on your subject area. Many of you appear in test. Some of you appeared in test as graduate students. Those who are engineers, did you appear any test for? So they take your test. Based on test, they shortlist you. Then they discuss with you first the subject area which you studied. But then they also ask you some questions which call the general personality questions. In personality test, subject is not fixed. You are trying to become a civil servant. We want to look at you in you. A civil servant, in that too it's not fixed whether you become an IAS tomorrow or an IPS or what. It depends on your rank. Normally they ask you questions related to the administration which are meant broadly related to administration part, like an IAS. There may be some questions in law and order, but most of the questions would come on administration and about the country's economy, and country's relationship with neighbors and outside. So the span is very large. Now, in such a situation, you appear in the board and they start asking questions. They may not ask any question which you have prepared. You don't know where they start. Nobody knows. Some of you must have done mocks also. It only prepares you to probably face them. Nothing more than that. Whatever I will say also may not be true 100%. But the fact is that there are 4 senior people who are assisting commission, a member of commission sits. So it's a 5-member team to whom you are interacting. So firstly, you are interacting, you are not quizzed. You understand the difference? Yes, sir. Interaction will have to be a little more deeper It will not be sketchy. If they ask you one area, they may ask 3, 4, 5 questions in that. So if you can presume that there are 5 people, 5 different areas are possible. Which area they are going to be, nobody knows. Obviously, chairman will put you at ease. He obviously will ask questions which you already informed him. And what have you informed already? You already informed the commission about through what is you call DEF. There you tell where were you born, where were you educated, what were hobbies, what were achievements both in academics and outside, whether in sports or culture. So you actually tell about everything. Now in building personality, the personality can't be built in 2 days' time, can it be? So your personality has been built the moment you start growing. If you sit back someday, maybe today, those who are appearing, and try to understand what they did do, what is the last memory they have for themselves. How many of you can remember your time when you were 5-year-old? Can anybody remember? Just go back. I tried to master this art and there were advantages. The way I grew, the people I interacted with, people said few things to me as I went to my school. What did I learn? What the challenges? So you start building a personality. You notice, I still remember when I was in university. At that time, 11th class was in university. Physics teacher taught the class, head of the department of the university teaching class. And like in school, he asked a question, and if you don't answer, stand up on a chair, and those who answer must slap them. It happened in university. Today you don't think it can happen. Can it happen? But it's possible. The whole idea is that those who can't think and answer are liable to be punished. At that time it was more physical. Today teacher would give you lesser marks. So they want to look at whether you understand a question, whether you can articulate the question, answer, and you can present this answer in a manner in which I can impress you. और तो कुछ नहीं है ना? The critical part in it, like I'm trying to reach you, trying to convince you what I'm saying, you should use your language and words in such a manner that whatever you think you want to send to me, it must reach me. There are many students who want to say one thing, but by the time it reaches me, it has a different meaning. So first precaution is, speak in such a manner with clarity that whatever you intended to tell must be listened by me in the same manner. Okay? So it does not mean that you speak very loudly, very fast. You should be balanced depending on what you are. Many students think that they should use more flowery language. But when you try to do that, you lose your originality. Each of you have something original in you. The way you speak, the way you interact, the language you use. The best way is use as simple language as possible. There is no confusion then. If you have sentences where sentence start and end after a minute, it's no good. In 1 minute reading, how much you can read in 1 minute? At least 1,000 words in one page. That answer is too long. Okay? If you have such a long answer, the listener would lose interest. He is asking you a question because time is limited. And what is the time? It is said in UPSC, it is 30 minutes. There are 5 people. Some introductory remark. So it leaves what? Roughly 4 to 5 minutes with each. Now, if you take in answering one question in more than a minute, you are losing your attempts, chances. More questions come to you, you have an opportunity to answer more. And show that your depth in breadth is large. Maybe somebody asks question on sports, may not know. But don't miss a question on culture or something else. So try to see that all these 5 people ask you different 5 areas. That means wherever you are not strong, where you can't think through, you better say no in the beginning. Don't try to gossip, don't try to guess, and don't even ask them, should I guess? Nothing can be a bigger crime than this. They are talking to you are not guessing with them, isn't it? There's no gambling occurring. Either you know it or you don't know it. And the best thing is that once you know that this area of question may be a little more deeper and you don't know, you might answer the first but may not be answered second. Tell them you don't know. But again, the problem is how many times you say no. It's your judgment now. Normally speaking, if I'm a candidate, I'll never try to duck question more than 10%. So imagine there are 5 people, if they're asking 5 questions, so maximum 25 questions, 3 questions I can say no. इससे ज़्यादा कहेंगे तो आप समझ ही सकते हैं, तो उनको पता लगेगा कि आपको नहीं आता है. ठीक है? Question could be as mundane as what are the colors of national flag, in what orders they are, what are the spokes in the wheel. As simple as possible. It could be something about Taj Mahal or something. No complex in it. But you don't know with flag what would follow. So when you think of a flag, think of all kinds of questions possible. So then what is the best way? One is that you are going to mocks here and there. How many mocks will you do? 10, 5, 20. And if you don't do well, you get demotivated. Somebody will say your body language is no good. Can you change your body language now? Is it possible? So then what's the meaning of it? It is there with you. If anybody says that your body language is no good, is he doing anything good for you? Is anybody here who can change his body language? I have not been able to change any time. So be natural. My submission to you, be absolutely normal. Don't unnecessarily try to throw your hands in there, left in there, right in there. We are neither Modi ji nor Bajpayee. We are simple human beings appearing in exam under pressure. We just cannot do anything which is not normal. If you do things normal, the pressure reduces. Some people start speaking in very heavy slang. Why? Why? We know, all of you, that if I ask a question which you have remembered, you have mugged that question, your language would be different. In the moment I ask a question which is not in that territory but outside, the language would change. So we can differentiate that how much you have mugged and how much is pre-prepared and what is the spontaneity. So important is that you appear to be more spontaneous, not a mugged up interview. It should come from a heart. You are understanding a question. Focus at the crux of the point. If they have to take 3 things out of it on an answer, there's a question on which 3 things have to be said. Say the first, the best, and then the subsequent. That can only happen when you understood the question properly and try to articulate in your mind in a short time. So give a pause. Not a long Bajpayee pause, but small pause. Few seconds. It is essential. You must collect your thoughts. Because you know many things. Your thoughts keep on wandering. Firstly, fear. Secondly, which one you should answer. So the practice is focus your mind, listen carefully, wait for a few seconds. In those few seconds, let all possible answer emerge in your mind. And then you start speaking. It's not a quiz, बटन दबाना है जल्दी से, ऐसा नहीं है वहाँ पे. नहीं है ना? कोई बटन आपके पास भी नहीं है, उनके पास भी नहीं है. So be careful. Full question has to be listened. If you don't listen full question, the focus of question would be missed. So in any question, important is what is the focus. And based on that focus, subsequent question would follow. Is that correct? So no long answers, simple language, little pause, no heavy accent, you're natural. If you normally neither you smile nor you weep, so be what you are. Some people have face which always smiley. Don't try to control and stop it. There are some people who always can't smile, which you call a fish face. They would remain fish face. But there's nothing wrong to bring a little smile. After all, you are meeting somebody who is good in your life. Though they are your examiner, but they are also very senior people. It's the only opportunity you have. So just keep a good, calm, composed yourself. Heavens are not going to fall. You unnecessarily smile, you unnecessarily weep. No, nothing. Whatever you are there, whatever you can be naturally, be that. I think this should go in your head completely. So being natural. Number 2, language is not a barrier. In my time, I even removed this barrier. Earlier, before I was chairman, if you write an answer in one language, you were supposed to give interview in the same language. Now it has changed. You are free to write in any of the language, and you are free to choose your language for interview. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So this freedom is available. Now once I gave this freedom, I was clear that there should be no injustice because of the language. In language is only a medium for communication. So if you are happy in your own mother tongue, let you interact with us. So if somebody is talking Tamil to me, I don't know Tamil. I would know Hindi, maybe I understand Punjabi, maybe I understand a bit of Gujarati, Marathi, but I don't understand Tamil. For each of you, we have an interpreter. And these interpreters are the very best quality. They are not just like that people. So don't be scared. So whatever you speak, he'll translate. If you understand his translation, it's always good. You should know what he is translating. It happens once that the boy answered differently, he translated differently. But one of the experts did understand part of it. And he asked the student, this is what you said. So just be careful when he's translating. After all, you understand a bit of English, all of you?
Yes, sir.
All of you?
Yes, sir.
So even if he's translating that in English to them, you would understand it. So be careful. Keep your ears open when he's translating. Similarly, your answer should be short so that translation becomes easy. You know, more you speak, he can't translate. Interpreters are good when the original speaker knows that there is an interpreter. So I'll speak short sentences. So both very short sentences are helpful in expressing yourself, unnecessarily not going to language domain. So language is not a barrier. Your marks are not dependent on language. If anybody tells you that if you come from Hindi or Gujarati, you'll get less marks, he's fooling you. Any of you in Hindi medium here? So this should be enough assurance for you. But speak good language. No slang. They are not friends. They are not pals on which you put a hand. So So no language of computer, no language of slang, normal language as spoken in a meeting. Okay? Sometimes you remember a few words which you speak, so try to control. Have full word. Is that right? No slang, know most of the idioms, simple language. Don't worry about the language. Understand what translator is saying. If you know English, try to listen question carefully. You have also a freedom. In the language in which the expert asks you a question, if you understand, you can tell him, sir, I understood the question. It will only save your time. Your problem only comes when you can't speak that language so fluently. That's why you've chosen Hindi. Yes. Am I right?
Yes.
So, better to take that question. You can suggest them, sir, please ask me in English if you can understand. All of you can understand that?
Yes, sir.
So, it will be better for you. Because that saves the hassles of the experts too. Obviously, for you, if your interpreter is working, there will be 5-6 more minutes, but the number of questions is likely to reduce. Because there is one person in between who is speaking both ways. So intelligently, you can cut that out. But it's your choice. Because this is one of the fear which you most of the time ask me. So I talked about the body language. I talked about the language. I talked about planning your time. I talked about how much and how much you should answer. The other question, what dress should I wear? Many people ask me this question. I don't know why should they ask me this question. What dress would you wear when you go to interview? Normally, what should you do? Formal. In which you are comfortable. If interview comes in month of May and you are wearing a sweat coat, which is a woolen of your friend, not yours, and you sweat, you are not going to get more marks if you are wearing a tie or a sweater. But you should be looking nice, clean dress, formal dress. I have a word to call no Govinda dress. Govinda is a very handsome actor, but the color combination in films is different, not his natural kind. In films, the colors of brightness have to be worn because otherwise in pictures they will not come proper. So it could be black pant and white shirt, it could be a normal salwar kameez, it could be anything. So dress is not important to board. You must be formal. These 5 people are senior to you. When you meet senior people, you have to be very formal. And if you're not formal, you yourself get worried. I don't know whether you are too fond in looking some of the advertisings. I'm generally fond in understanding. In very early days, there used to be an advertisement. There's an aircraft where a lot of people are there. And suddenly somebody who is hijacking the plane. One of the passengers was shaving inside. It's an advertisement of Gillette. So he shaved by Gillette, and when he came, he fights this man. The point is says that when you think you are handsome, you are more confident. Now you can't change your face, but by your dress, your mannerism, and not a necessary mannerism, you're not walking on the ramp. You're comfortable, you're calm, you're quiet. Whatever little smile you have, confidence, normal dress, it builds your confidence. And I can assure you, if you're confident within, it will reflect on your face. It does. In confidence building takes place in 3 ways. One, that you know the subject area, the knowledge. And for knowledge, you have not to read anything more. You have qualified mains. Those who qualify main, they have read how many papers? 4 general studies paper, 1 subject paper, essay, the two language paper, and then in the prelim you prepare about India in relation. Now I don't think anything is left. What is left to be looked in which all of you try to make a mistake, you forget that you are also a graduate. And you forget that when you were in a college, it is that time only your personality was built. It is that time that you made friends. It is that time when you fought in the class, you bunk your class, you listen to the teacher, you gossip with your friends, do all kinds of idiotic things. But that's the only time you did. You have looked more plays, you have listened to many mentors, you have looked many other speakers. Not in your preparation of 4 years. Actually, in these 4 years, your personality comes down and your knowledge base increases. You have to recall your days of university. What did you do? How did you handle that situation? How did your friend handle that situation? If there's a fight in canteen, what did you do? If there's a blood in the classroom, what did you do? I mean, these are the kind of reactions which you build. So personalities are built in university, colleges, schools, in neighborhoods. Personalities are not built when you prepare for exam. In exam, you are a loner sitting on a desk, worrying all the time, preparing it. So knowledge you are acquiring. Your interaction becomes zero, almost. When you prepare your mains, how much interaction remain outside? You don't even see film, you don't even watch TV, you don't go and interact for a long time. You even don't go to many times to hotels and restaurants. Now each of these plays adds personality. Somebody can discuss with you a film, an award-winning film. It's not stopped. Say for example, when the interviews occur and say the Falke Award is given, they can ask you this question. Who won the Falke Award? Who are the previous recipients? For what it is given? Who was Dada Falke? So questions come. So that's what people say, current event. There's no current here. Whatever good events are occurring to you, and with Dada Falke Award is given as an event. But Dada Falke is not today's event. He was a masterman to make in Hindi films to come into what the stage is in his contribution. So that's the kind of understanding you require. So that's your personality. In personality, you try to look at what question. If somebody is a good singer and he says, my hobby is singing, you don't know, board member say, please sing. Do you think, will it surprise you? It should not surprise you. There's almost a case which is said, there was a girl who came in an interview and she said she's a very good cook. The whole interview, 40 minutes, was only cooking. The passion the girl had, and the board was so impressed with her passion, with her innovation, so they challenged her to produce dishes based on recipes given by them. So whatever good you are, you should hone it up. So this interview is not merely asking questions. This interview is to look at your personality. And that's what you say, has my personality changed? It changed vis-a-vis because the 4 gentlemen change every year. Your competition change every year. The kind of questions will be put to you today will change. So if this year you got an interview, say for example, 150 marks, and next year you get unfortunately 120, and then you say, मेरी personality में क्या change हुआ? Change हुआ ना? These 5 people are different. And they are discussing differently, and you are communicating with different people. So maybe today you were not able to communicate. So that's the power of communication. That's power of your personality. So recall your days. How did you grow? What friends you have? What did you say? What gossips were there? What discussions occurred? Then it's all about you. It's not about your parents. It's not about your religion. It is not about your caste. It is not about your village in urban. It's only you sitting before them. UPSC has not said it's an equal opportunity. You appeared whether you come from village. Did you say I come from village, I don't appear? You appeared, no? So why do you think it should be concession then now that I come from village, sir? Whenever you use such words that I come from village, you are weakening yourself within. You are expecting that they must favor you. Why should they favor you? It is open to all. Whether you are an engineer or a chemistry man or a biology person or anything. You could be pure Punjabi speaking, a graduate in Punjabi. You are competing with an IIT graduate. But that's what you chose. So in personality test, don't expect any concessions. And don't even try to attempt to impress on them. That you come from rural area, unless they ask you. You have already declared, they know which village you come from. And believe me that they would know where this village was. One boy was once there and he tried to impress and the expert knew that village thoroughly. And he said, does this small rivulet pass by your village? Now this boy was actually born and never lived in village. So tendency to impress the board by extraneous things goes against you. Even if you know Prime Minister Modi, please don't say he knows you. It immediately goes against you. So no props, no caste, no religion, no parents. People try to impress. If your father is a bureaucrat, they say, I am motivated by him. Try to indicate to the board your father was a bureaucrat. How does it matter? If all bureaucrats' children would be appearing and selected, they all would have been the same. Otherwise, anybody will not be selected. So why do you want to impress? So you are the loner. It is you who have been judged. No props, no religion, no caste, nothing. No concession would come. Marks make cut down if you try to bring names. No local politician, no religion from your side. Even if they are questioned, they are not supposed to ask question on religion. If there is a question deeper in religion, unless a question of, never answer a question on relative importance of religion. You can thoroughly say, sir, I find incompetent me to answer a question on comparative religion. Don't try to get into the debate. Because it's so personalized. Religion is a personalized entity. And religion has not stopped. You are selected. You have seen, you have selected Muslims, you have selected Christians, you have selected Hindus, you have selected Harijans, you have selected Dalits, you have selected everybody. They have been toppers. So there is no bias. So when you go in that interview, there is no bias against you. So be confident that there is no bias working against. Nobody is against you. They want to get the best out of you. If they want to get best out of you, it is for you to show your best. And you can only show best when you are mentally ready and you are mentally there. So don't be scared. Then how to prepare? Preparation is very simple. It's not even difficult. For example, today go back home, those who are appearing now. Take for example, the judgment of Supreme Court in the last 4 years, which has become law of land. That it happens now. Any judgment by Supreme Court becomes law of land. So you should spend time to look at which are the judgment which has become law of land. Like Nirbhaya case, many other such cases. And just keep on remembering and start answering. That means you are asking question yourself, you are answering question yourself. Now you are at a level of maturity where you would know whether answer is right or wrong. How many can you say that you understand this, that am I right or wrong? How many of you have a judgment that if I'm answering this question this way, what marks I'm likely to get? How many of you are sure about it? You follow and say, I've appeared in an question paper, I come back and I calculate my marks. How many of you can do it accurately? Those who are successful, they will do this assessment correctly with 95% degree of accuracy. It's also a mantra for mains. You read, you prepare, you look at your answer, satisfied yourself. Could you have done better? The benchmark is, could you have done better? So when you answer, when you ask a question, you answer, you think whether you're right, could you have done better? So in a given topic, ask 5, 6, 7 questions. Even you start today, first interview is 30th. We are left with 20 days. You can prepare easily 300 question answer. 20 areas. You don't have to waste other time. Just go in deep. Women empowerment, budget, economic status, GDP, 5G, 4G, technology in public life, digitization, all government policies. All critical government policies of the day. You should know their implementation, their weaknesses, their strengths, their outcomes. And when you all do that, you are very confident in interview. Having done this much of coverage, 300, 400 questions, and you can also predict, if you come from one region, you should know that region. इसमें कुछ कहने की बात ही नहीं है. If I come from Dehradun, I should know everything about Dehradun. If I belong to Uttar Pradesh, I should know major things about Uttar Pradesh. If I'm educated in Maharashtra, if I'm in engineering from Maharashtra, I should know my college, my university, my principal, my vice chancellor. And as a graduate student, you cannot say I don't know that subject. Many of you say, सब मुझे 6 साल हो गए, मुझे तो आता नहीं है. तो आपकी पर्सनैलिटी तो बनी नहीं ना. 6 साल में तो आपने कुछ किया नहीं है. हमें पता है, you have prepared only means. Once engineer, forever engineer. Once a literary man, you are a literary man throughout. Your thought process becomes that way. So if you are an electrical engineer, they'll ask you a question on electrical engineering. Because today, all intelligent people read a lot and they can ask you any question. They can ask you in IT, they can ask you in AI, they can ask you in health. So anything they can ask you. So at least in your own subject, please prepare. The project you've done, the last semester your questions which you've done, papers you've done, what are the skills you have acquired? So you have to go back to your profession once again. Please don't miss. If you miss there, you lose very heavily. Though it is not test, it's a test of personality. If you were electrical engineer, how can you forget it? Can you forget it? So tomorrow, if you don't qualify for IAS, you become something else, your habit of reading will die out. In those who read well in variety reading, can only answer out of box. The quality answer, if the same question asked to a number of people, if all of them give the same answer, that means it's an answer which is so rudimentary. आपने सुना है rudimentary solution होता है. Everything else is solution which is so simple, which everybody do it. But then there is a beyond. It is that beyond which you bring. That means you must understand the situation, you must articulate that situation, you must give a solution to that situation. So it is a solution which you will provide. If somebody has provided, they also know it. It's not that they are not knowing what solutions are possible, but they want to listen from you. What do you think of this problem and what solutions you will offer? Tomorrow you will go to the government job. Day one you start taking decisions. So this checks your decision power. This checks your out-of-box thinking. This talks about your breadth of the knowledge. It checks about the way you present. I already said they are not biased you. If you try to bias them, that goes against you because then you are dishonest. So we look at your honesty, we look at your articulation, we look at your understanding of problems, we look at your new thinking. That's a question most of the time. You ask me what UPSC wants. In each personality of you, if similar questions are put up, you will all answer differently. If UPSC tomorrow decides, and we have case studies, not in our country, in UK this is a practice. They give you 40 questions and they ask you to write an answer. And they score you. Same 40 questions are again discussed with you, with the experts. And they give you an answer. If the answer is very wide, they don't select you. Okay? That's only, everything is known to you. But the way you discuss, the way you impress on them, written is one part. Mr. Singh said so. But the way you try to impress a person with a view. Today, if you want to go to the best in a company, what they are looking in you? That if you have an idea to communicate with him, by the time you finish your presentation, he should be convinced. And that time is available 2 minutes. So each expert who is asking you 5 questions, you have only 5 minutes to impress on him. And it is not that he alone, all 5 listen. Don't ever think you're not answering him. All are listening. And they evaluate based on an overall impression and overall demonstration of yours. They don't judge you based on what answer you gave in those questions. They look at how did you conduct yourself, whether you thought well, whether you were honest, whether your communication was good, and whether you demonstrate qualities of a person who can take decision. In quality taking decision is you listen, understand, articulate. And no bias. All bureaucrats are supposed to follow a rule which is unbiased. If at all there is a bias, it is called public interest. Otherwise, you have to follow a rule written. And if you have to overpower that rule, you have to give large writing saying this rule says so, this rule says so. However, if we do this way properly, it influences better. So again, you're thinking, your original thinking. Why? If it is out of compassion, why out of compassion? Because when you do think out of compassion, it may become bias. You have a compassion for him, but not to him or her. But compassion can also be used as a tool for decision making when it is in public interest. Public interest will not be a corrupt practice. Anything which falls in the realms of corrupt practice is not public interest. Is that correct? Okay, now I'm open to questions. I try to cover everything. I have already told you that please start asking questions from today. Should ask at least in 20 different areas, definitely covering government policies and the current challenges. Okay? Now open to questions. Anything which I said, did you follow or any doubts on that? Anybody has any doubt? Yeah, please.
वर्क एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है तो क्या मैटर करता है?
बिल्कुल नहीं करता है. They only ask you graduate. वर्क आपका एक्सपीरियंस है तो sometimes they can ask you question on work. So that become little easier because then you can answer in that area. Otherwise, graduate is a requirement, nothing else.
सर हॉबीज को क्या हम डीपली प्रिपेयर करें?
करना चाहिए. वही हॉबी होती है, इसमें मजा है. हॉबी गाली है ना तो होगी नहीं ना. हॉबी इज अ क्रिएटिव वर्क outside your curriculum which you enjoy, which gives you peace and relaxation.
बस जो हॉबीज में म्यूजिक और मूवीज का कंटेंट हम डाल देते हैं उसमें सर एक वाइड एरिया हो जाता है वो.
जैसे आपको आपने क्या डाला आप मैं बता देता हूँ आपको.
जैसे
बताइए.
म्यूजिक डाल दिया सर.
मतलब म्यूजिक तो डालेंगे नहीं ना. हॉबी तो म्यूजिक के क्या मतलब हुआ.
म्यूजिक
ठीक है तो फिर आपसे और आपकी मुश्किल होगी. फिर पूछेंगे आपको इंडियन म्यूजिक पसंद है, जैज़ लाइक करते हैं, आपको कुछ वर्ड भी नहीं आते होंगे उसमें. डू लाइक ग्वालियर घराना, बनारस घराना, जयपुर. तो मुश्किल होनी होगी. सो पुटिंग इन हॉबीज वेरी केयरफुल. वो म्यूजिक की सारंगी की बात करने लगेंगे है नी, या बिस्मिल्लाह का शहनाई बजाते थे, उससे पूछ सकते हैं. सो डोंट बी सो ओपन. लिसनिंग म्यूजिक कैन बी हॉबी बट देन यू मस्ट नो which kind of music. You can say classic, you can say Bombaya film, film music, and they can discuss film music. Then they'll ask you, there are people who are interested. One of the Delhi Police Commissioner who was also a member, it was a great name who wrote on films. So he could floor you out in his board. सावर लुधियानवी का ये गाना किस पिक्चर में है, कभी आपने सुना है क्या? मुश्किल होगी फिर आपको. इसलिए डेप्थ की जरूरत है. जी
सर मैंने अपनी हॉबी में कल्चरल टूरिज्म डाला है.
कल्चरल
टूरिज्म
आपने क्यों डाला है आपको पता होगा.
सर हाउ अ पर्सन लाइक यू इंटरप्रेट कल्चरल टूरिज्म एंड हाउ वी इंटरप्रेट कल्चरल टूरिज्म, थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस मुझे मॉक इंटरव्यू देने में नजर आ रहा है.
तो उन्होंने बताया भी होगा क्या फर्क है.
सर वही है कि मतलब थोड़ा क्लासिकल और कल्चरल टूरिज्म, क्लासिकल और ट्रेडिशनल टूरिज्म पे थोड़ा ज़्यादा फोकस कर रहे हैं.
अदरवाइज क्या कल्चरल में होता है.
सर मतलब जैसे मैंने इतना ट्रैवल किया हुआ है, इट्स वेरी मतलब न्यू काइंड ऑफ कल्चरल टूरिज्म. द फेस्टिवल वगैरह जो अटेंड किया है इस टाइप का.
सो यू ट्रेवल फॉर फेस्टिवल्स.
Travel for festivals or any religious places also, many religious places I travel.
Religious place is not a cultural tourism. It's a religious place visit. Okay, there's a devotion involved. Just wait. Okay, cultural tourism is a defined word. If you go on, and there's a government policy in many states. So do that. If you try to go to festivals which are designated every year, for example, go to Kullu Dashera. For example, Jaipur Literary Fest. They are fixed. Mysore Dashera, Jalai Kattu in Tamil Nadu. These are cultural tourism. Okay? If there is a festival in Baisakhi in Punjab, if there is a known festival, वो जो एक जगह में बहुत ही फेमस है, आप वहाँ जाते हैं तो ठीक है, it's okay. Otherwise, there is a religious tourism, there is a medical tourism, there is a green tourism, there is a nature tourism, and the masti tourism. All kinds of tourisms are possible. Some people only try to visit historical buildings. Yeah, the last person. So don't डोंट ट्राई टू डू थिंग्स विच यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड. उसके लिखने से पहले आपको देखना चाहिए था उसे.
Sir, as you said that you have to be natural in front of the panel. Sir, is there any kind of specific etiquettes that
No etiquette. Whatever you are like you are now. Except maybe dress is not this kind of, but maybe.
no, I want to say the walking style when you enter into the room, that you only natural.
Natural, go just like that. I mean, you enter a room, I can tell you something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with any of you. You all would be courteous, let me say. And they are normal etiquettes. आप दरवाजे में घुसते हैं तो क्या करते हैं?
मतलब enter होते हैं या
नॉक न करें यहाँ पे तो आप पुश करेंगे एंड पूछेंगे मे आई कम इन. दे कैन, दे विल से यस, यू गो इन, व्हाट एल्स. अब यहाँ पे नीचे तो लेटेंगे नहीं या कैट वॉक नहीं करके जाएंगे, नहीं करेंगे ना. That's it.
some mock interviews, that's why I asked.
What have they said?
They said कि your walking style is not good.
I'm so sorry. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. No. Did I have any style? I walked like that. Just walk it like this. Please don't ape anything. Just be careful when you enter the door. The normal cut is door is not banged. बहुत सारे डोर्स में स्प्रिंग लगी होती है ना ऊपर, डोर क्लोजर, तो आराम से उसको बंद करें फिर जाए. और नमस्ते करने में भी थिएट्रिकल होने की जरूरत नहीं है. एक को मैंने हाथ से किया, एक को सलाम किया. यू कैन सी ऑल फाइव टुगेदर इन से गुड आफ्टरनून, गुड मॉर्निंग मैम एंड सर. हैविंग सेड दैट यू कैन से, अब आप खड़े तो रहेंगे नहीं. चेयरमैन लाइक मी वुड से सिट डाउन. If chairman forgets and busy in his mind, you may request him, can may I sit? इतना तो कर ही सकते हैं ना. तो इन 6 चीज़ों के अलावा क्या होगा बताइए? कुछ और मैनरिज्म होगा क्या? आप ऐसा जूता मत पहन के जाएं जो जोर से खटखट करता हो. कई फिल्मों में होता है ना, आपने देखा म्यूजिक बजता है, जूता चले टक टक. नॉर्मल ड्रेस है भाई, नॉर्मल शूज़ है. फॉर गर्ल्स चप्पल भी ज़रूरत नहीं है, शादी की चप्पल नहीं है. नॉर्मल जो आप पहनते हो पहन जाओ, पर स्लीपर मत पहनो, हवाई चप्पल नहीं. पर उसमें आपको ज़रूरत नहीं है. वेडिंग ड्रेस इज डिफरेंट, इज़न्ट दैट? न तो वहाँ कोई ब्राइड रूम है, न कोई ब्राइड है, न ब्राइड के पेरेंट्स हैं. तो अब नॉर्मल जाओ ना. दीज आर वेरी 5 इंटेलिजेंट पीपल. वो भी सब ऐसी नॉर्मल ड्रेस में रहते हैं, कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं है. किसी को शेरवानी नहीं दिखेगी. I was unfortunate one to wear a sherwani. You know why? I'm an Aligarh graduate, so AMU students are supposed to wear sherwani. So became part of my life. So I have a black sherwani, but not the Manevar sherwani. Simple. Everything is simple. Yeah.
So while interacting with the interviewer, how should we make eye contact? We should look everyone, or we should look at specific person.
What is your degree in?
BMS, Bachelor in Management Studies.
क्या करेंगे यदि सामने 6 लोग बैठे हैं तो आपको लगता है वैसे बैठेंगे, 2 पीछे और 2 आगे?
No sir, they will be spread.
तो एक में आंखें तो गढ़ा नहीं देंगे, इसे इष्ट तो करना नहीं है. तो आपकी डिस्टेंस कितनी होती है वहाँ से?
8 feet, 4 feet.
5 फीट होगी ना. आप मेरे से यहाँ पे बैठे हैं, कितने लोगों को देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे? दैट्स इट. आप उसको आंसर कर रहे हैं बट सबको देख भी रहे हैं. कोई अलग से आपको नहीं करना है. Yesterday there were some defense interviews and they invited me. तो कैंडिडेट की सीट ऐसी थी कि अनफॉर्चुनेटली बैठे हम उसके पास ही थे, बट जब मैं सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ तो उसको घूमना पड़ता था. तो बाकी के लोगों के बैक हो गई. यूपीएससी में ऐसे नहीं होता है. जहाँ आपकी कुर्सी आपको डाउट है थोड़ा खिसका लो पीछे. बैठते व्यक्ति बिल्कुल चिपक के मत बैठो, टेक 4 more inches बैक, तो आपकी स्पेन बढ़ जाएगी ऑटोमेटिकली. तो न तो कोई बहुत फोकस करना है, न इग्नोर करना है. मेरी बात भी सुन ही रहे हैं ना आप लोग? ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. यू हैव टू इम्प्रेस बाय योर थॉट्स, योर क्लैरिटी, योर न्यू थिंकिंग. जो कॉन्फिडेंस। हाँ, यदि आप दाढ़ी बढ़ा के आ गए और फोटो में दाढ़ी नहीं है तो मुश्किल है। आपने फोटो सबमिट किया है ना, वहाँ जो फोटो वहाँ दिखता है आपको वही दिखना है, क्योंकि वो फोटो चेयरमैन को मिलाना पड़ता है। ठीक है नहीं? आई एम नॉट अगेंस्ट बियर्ड और फॉर क्लीन शेव, वट एवर फोटो गिवन यू शुड लुक। आपने स्पेक्स पहनी है तो स्पेक्स पहनी है। फोटो खिंचवाते एक्टर नहीं पहनते, भाई वो तो ठीक है शादी के लिए जा रहा है, बट यहाँ तो नेचुरल होना चाहिए था ना। There's a question somebody has sent me from Punjab. I have a hobby of reading about folklore and culture of Punjab. It's very good. And if the questions asked, you definitely are in a good position. But then you should know who are the folk singers, what's the difference between Punjab folk singing and Uttar Pradesh folk singing. Because luckily folk singing is different in each of the state. You know it?
Yes.
The way dances and the music of Rajasthan and of Punjab, they are two different things. And accordingly, the folklores are also different. In Punjab, there's a lot of folklore about saints and the music which is religion mixed into it. Gurubani से बहुत affected है the way singing. Like Ravindra Sangeet affect Bengal folklore. Folklore is nothing but in singing the stories of the local place. That's what called folklore. There has to be story. Otherwise, it's like it's a film music otherwise. So the music is built around a story. So it's a story of the nearby, the same place. And within that, he's very popular, that person. And we start singing about him, his praise. And so that's a folklore. So anything of this nature is very positive, very good. And if you are a singer, they can ask you to sing. So I'm happy that you know about the culture of Punjab. You should know culture of your own state. He talked about cultural. So culture include dance, music, dress, monuments, and history. That's a part of culture. Punjab is full of saints. And saint music is very part of Punjab culture. Though we always thought of Bhangra, but we tend to forget that folklore talks about them. Yeah, any other question? नहीं पूछ लीजिए, घबराइए ना।
जनरली क्वेश्चन जब मेंबर्स पूछते हैं व्हाई बिकम एन आईएएस ऑफिसर, तो उसमें जनरली कोई सीरियस कैंडिडेट होता है, वो मतलब कुछ ऐसा उसकी लाइफ में हो रहा हो, मतलब वो उसी चीज को बताता है, पर जनरली बोर्ड मेंबर्स को लगता है कि हर पर्सन सेम आंसर कर रहा है। फॉर एग्जांपल कि मैं समाज के मतलब समाज को अच्छा करने के लिए,
वो तो करता नहीं है ना, कोई
करता नहीं है सर, पर
कर भी नहीं सकता,
सीरियस कैंडिडेट जब
कर भी नहीं सकता,
नहीं
आप नहीं कर सकते। आपका रोल फिक्स्ड है। आपका रोल है जो पॉलिसी बनी है सरकार की उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करना है, और इम्प्लीमेंट ईमानदारी से करना है। यू कैन बी ऑनेस्ट, यू कैन बी एफिशिएंट, एंड इफ यू वांट टू मेक ए चेंज इन दैट पॉलिसी यू गेट इम्प्लीमेंटेड, फाइंड डिफिकल्टीज, इन्फॉर्म द गवर्नमेंट। यही आपका रोल है। आप किसी को कुछ दे नहीं सकते, विद इन द रूल ही आपको देना है। यू अंडरस्टैंड? आप कंबल नहीं बांटते, बांटिए अपने पैसे से, कोई नहीं रुकेगा। यू आर नॉट सुपर बॉस। वहाँ तो एमएलए एमपी है ना, वो बनाते हैं वहाँ पे। ओके, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? Question is come, this is applicable to all. How to answer a question if you are already a doctor? Why do you want to join civil service? Now this answer I don't give. Each of you have to give yourself your own motivation to do that. If you are a doctor, why do you want to now come to civil service? You must have your own reasons. Similarly, if you're an engineer, what do you want to come? And if you're a graduate, why only you want to become a civil servant? So please answer yourself. Your answer must be appearing to you good. Listen carefully, but not serving society. Don't come with this answer that you want to serve society. That you saw on the street, somebody is beaten up, so you want to become an IPS. No. As a citizen, if somebody is beaten before you, what are the options? Have you done them first? What are the options possible? If they ask you this question, you are there and some person is beaten up. What will you do? Call the police. Okay. What else? That's all. आजकल तो वो भी नहीं करते ना, आजकल तो फोटो लेते हैं अपलोड करते हैं. Is it what is expected of a person, human being? Will you not make an attempt to shout around and call people to, and then call also police simultaneously? If you have power in you, hold the person. आपके अंदर तो डर है ना, आपको ही मारेगा वो. So how to overcome fear? How to provide support in safety to person and act as per law. So create a situation before you and answer. It's a common question, है ना, dilemma question. जी. Somebody has asked, can I mention multiple hobbies? You can put any number of hobbies, but more hobbies you are in, more depth they will expect. That's all. There's a girl who is a gold medalist in a subject. She said, will it invite more questions? It can. And I already said that for UG subject, don't make a mistake. It applies to all. So your subject knowledge must be there. And if you're a gold medalist, obviously they'll ask you, what is in you that you got gold medals? You can show you're hardworking, you did this project better, you better time management, you understood subject. It goes in your favor. If you're an achiever in your subject, it goes in your favor. Being gold medalist is not easy. You are being number one. Whatever these numbers are, it's a positive virtue of personality. Okay, yeah, please.
When we have to tackle situational questions as an administrator, what are the priorities that an administrator would first look at before giving a solution for an issue?
So what is in your mind? See, first situation, which situation is in your mind?
For example, the rising drug abuse among youth.
Say that again?
Rising drug abuse
Okay.
among youth. So as an administrator, when a question comes, how will you tackle this issue?
Yeah.
What priorities should first come to your mind?
Tell me, what's your priorities? It's a simple question. Everybody can answer. She's asking if the question put to you that it has come to your notice that there's a lot of drugs being used by youth in the district in which you are. What will you do?
Seminars should be conducted, sir. Seminars should be conducted for tackling these drugs.
Okay, what else? Let them. Now that's where these questions require more thinking, not as a preparation anywhere. There's no preparation required. What will you do as a common man? One, he said, spread awareness against drugs. It's a slow process. Okay? So when you go to district collector's district, it has come to your notice that there are drug menace. So one way is do this. What else? Surveillance, okay, surveillance. How do you see surveillance by drone?
Used technology and you meant
Somebody said drone. Somebody spoke drone. How do surveillance on a drug addict? Do you think they'll sit in a corner and do this? It's done so clandestinely. How do you think the drug must be spreading around?
Sir, it should it is spreading by a small child also, because some syndicates are there now, those who are giving their drug in a small boy bag and they are spreading that.
So, how the surveillance will help? So you require talking to police, talking to elder people, try to find from them, and whatever the case come to your notice, punish them as quickly as you can. Law of land must apply. There, no waiting. If investigation is to be done, it's done quickly. And top of it, since you had gone there and before that this man is there, you should have kept in your mind the routes through which is coming, the method they must be using. So you must start reading about it as a bureaucrat yourself. You suddenly go from a district where this was not there. You're now going to a district, so you must go mentally prepared about that district. And you read the previous trees and cases. And obviously, those who have gone and drugs and you found them, try to change them. जैसे smoking के लिए there are treatment, drugs के लिए treatment. Give a kid glove treatment to them. Bring back them to society. तो आप जितना सोचेंगे, जितने पॉइंट्स आपके, अभी आपने मुझसे क्वेश्चन कर लिया, इससे काम नहीं चला ना. The way I started thinking about with you, the answer will come. You all know everything. I'm telling you, you all know everything. The advantage I have more years on me, which you cover by asking question, thinking. Yeah. Any, please.
सर, अगर इंटरव्यू बोर्ड में जाते हैं हम लोग, तो इंटरव्यू बोर्ड के मेंबर जब हमसे प्रश्न पूछते हैं, तो कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछने के बाद अगर हम उनका जवाब नहीं दे पाते हैं, तो हमारे पास बहुत बड़ी चैलेंज हो जाता है. हम नर्वस हो जाते हैं. तो उस परिस्थिति में आप अपने आप को मैनेज कैसे करें?
इनका प्रश्न बहुत सबके साथ ही होता है. आप गए और आपसे सवाल पूछा. पहली सिचुएशन हो सकती है कि साहब सवाल अनएक्सपेक्टेड है, तो आप नर्वस हो जाएंगे. एक एरिया में सवाल पूछा, आपने उत्तर किया. दूसरे एरिया में पूछा तो नहीं जवाब दे पाए. तो कोई भी एक सिचुएशन आ सकती है जहाँ या आपने आंसर किया और एक्सपर्ट ने कहा ये तो गलत है, तो आप नर्वस होंगे. तो जब इंटरव्यू में नर्वस हो तो क्या करें? क्या ऑप्शंस पॉसिबल है आपके पास? भाग के तो नहीं आ सकते. 30 मिनट तो बैठना है वहाँ. तो पहला मन बना लें कि कुछ भी हो, मुझे 30 मिनट बैठना ही है. ठीक है. ये भी अब आपको पता लग गया कि मैं ठीक से आंसर नहीं किया है, मेरे मार्क्स कम आएंगे. 150 की जगह 140 हो गए, 135 पे जाएंगे तो कुछ आफत नहीं आने वाली है. तो एक तक मैदान छोड़ के न भागें, ये दिल में बैठा लें. एक आंसर गलत होने से आपका पूरा इंटरव्यू नहीं बिगड़ेगा. तीसरा मैंने आपको बताया था कि 10% तक आप मना कर सकते हो. जैसे आप नर्वस हुए, अगला सवाल आया, आप नहीं जानते, मना करो. दैट्स इट. और 2 मिनट के लिए माइंड, 1 सेकंड के लिए माइंड शांत करो. अगेन फाइट इट आउट. आपको 1 ही सेकंड चाहिए. बुराई तो होगा ना, वो अंत तो नहीं हुआ ना लाइफ का. यू विल बी देयर, यू कम आउट हैप्पीली. जरूरी नहीं कि सबके सब IAS बनेंगे, नहीं बनेंगे ना. इन 1000 वैकेंसी में 200 ही IAS की हैं. अब जॉब तो कोई भी ज्वाइन करोगे जो मिलेगी, आपको मिलेगी ना. तो हो सकता है 150 जगह 145 आ जाए और आपको IAS में मिलके कस्टम मिल जाए. क्या बुरा है? तो किस बात का डर? कुछ नहीं मिला और आपने जाके IIT में नौकरी मिल गई तो क्या बुरी है भाई? तो लाइफ का एंड नहीं है, तो डर किस बात का? फिर पिताजी पीटेंगे क्या? नहीं पीटेंगे। जब तक आपके मन में डर है कि मेरा अंत होने वाला है, अंत नहीं होता किसी का। अंत तो रावण कभी नहीं हुआ, हर साल मारने की कोशिश करते उसको। तो अपने अंदर रावण न सोचे, कुछ और सोचें, खुश रहें। यह आपके भले के लिए हो सकता है। एक जनरल कहावत है सोसाइटी की, सोशल, कि जो कुछ होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है। आप यदि ईमानदार हैं तो आपको यह देखना है कि आपने अच्छा प्रयत्न किया। तो उस वक्त ये कहो कि मुझे आई एम नर्वस बट मुझे अच्छा करना है। अपनी मुट्ठियों को बांधें नीचे, फिर दोबारा रिपीट करें अपने आप में चुपके से, मुझे अच्छा करना है। बस, और तो कुछ है नहीं। करके देखिए, अच्छा लगेगा आपको।
कोई सर अगर उन्होंने कोई भी प्रश्न पूछा, अगर हम प्रश्न को सोचने में ज़्यादा वक्त लगा रहे हैं तो क्या इसका प्रभाव गहरा पड़ सकता है?
मतलब इतना तो नहीं लगाए ना कि टाइम ही चला जाए। मैंने कहा था कि यार प्रश्न को सुनते वक्त कुछ सेकंड ज़रूर लगाएं, सोचें, फिर आंसर करें, और वो अभी से आदत डालें। मैंने कहा ना, रोज़ आपको सवाल पूछने हैं, रोज़ आंसर करना है, और डिफ़िकल्ट क्वेश्चन करने हैं। जो क्वेश्चन आप सोचते हैं, जो डरा रहे हैं आपको इस वक्त, वो क्वेश्चन करें, उनका आंसर करें। उसके लिए पढ़ने की ज़रूरत, फिर पढ़ें। तो ये 20 दिन आपके लिए वही हैं। तो ये इसलिए प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ता है कि आपको कोई सरप्राइज ना करे, कोई क्वेश्चन आपको नया ना दिखे। वन मोर लास्ट क्वेश्चन आई विल टेक। देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन रिलेटेड टू ऑप्शनल। मैंने कुछ और लिया है ग्रेजुएशन के अलावा भी, जो आपने सबने किया है। करीब सभी ने ये किया है ना? तो इसका तो उत्तर आप ही देंगे, मैं क्या दूँ इसका? योर चॉइस। इसका कोई आंसर नहीं है। वन मोर लास्ट क्वेश्चन।
सर, कैडर प्रेफरेंस को लेकर के भी क्वेश्चन करते हैं क्या? फॉर एग्जांपल आपने नॉर्थ,
मैंने कभी नहीं किया 11 साल में।
सॉरी सर,
मैंने 11 साल में नहीं किया। दैट आंसर्स।
सर इंटरव्यू में अगर इंग्लिश में इंटरव्यू हो, कोई क्वेश्चन पे हिंदी में जवाब निकल जाए बीच में, तो मार्क्स कट होते हैं कि नहीं?
अब इतना तो नहीं फाइन ट्यूनिंग करते हैं कि कितने सेंटेंस अंग्रेजी में बोले, कितने हिंदी में। कोई करेगा क्या ऐसे?
ऐसा हो जाता है कि
कभी ऐसा होगा क्या? आपको लगता है ऐसा होना चाहिए?
होना नहीं चाहिए, बट
नहीं होगा ना। क्यों होगा? ये 5 लोग तो इसलिए बैठे हैं कि आप बेस्ट कैसे देंगे। दे आर मोर सपोर्टिव देन व्हाट यू सी हियर पीपल। दे फ्राइटन यू, दे गिव यू कॉन्फिडेंस। जी
सर, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि जो हमारा इंटरेक्शन हो रहा है जिनके साथ, वो सीनियर है और उन्हें एक्सपीरियंस भी ज़्यादा है, और हम जैसे कि ग्रेजुएट है, ज़्यादा एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, फिर हम क्या करें कि जो वो इम्प्रेस हो सके हमसे?
यही तो बता रहे हैं। आप सिचुएशन को अच्छी तरह समझें, सोचें दिमाग में, फिर आंसर करें। उसकी प्रैक्टिस करवा रहे हैं। इस बात से नहीं घबराना है कि वो तो मेंबर यूपीएससी हो, तो आप तो मेंबर यूपीएससी हो गए नहीं। लकीली फॉर यू द एक्स चेयरमैन इज स्पीकिंग, and I only do this purely because I want to avoid fear among students. Otherwise, I don't believe in mocks and everything. जी
सर, हिंदी और इंग्लिश मीडियम का कोई फर्क पड़ता है?
अभी तो इतना लंबा भाषण दिया है यार, पूरी बात समझाई।
सर, मेंस में
किसी में फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा भाई। जी
सर, मल्टीपल स्टेट्स में रहे लोग, जैसे कि
ये भी बताया, अभी बता के चुका हूँ। कहाँ पैदा हुए, किस शहर में रहे, कहाँ पढ़े, थोड़ा थोड़ा जानूँ उनके बारे में। क्यों नहीं जानूँ?
सर, और प्रायोरिटी मतलब प्रेफरेंस में जिस स्टेट को
आपके नहीं, वो तो वो पूछेंगे ना। आपको थोड़ी जंप करके बताना है, सर मुझे तो पूछ लीजिए मैं पंजाब में पैदा हुआ, ये कहेंगे क्या? पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग तो रखिए भाई, इतना क्या नेगेटिविटी है। चलिए, ऑल द बेस्ट, थैंक यू।